Well, we've really seen so many problems with carbon monoxide in Houston this week. We're talking about more than 100 calls to the Houston Fire Department. So we want to talk about the safety aspect for anyone still without power. So we know there's about 45,000, give or take, people without power here in Houston. Dr. Hillary Fairbrother with UT Health and Memorial Hermann joining us now. Hillary, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. First off, how have you been? How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm still without power and water, so I'm one of the 45,000, and my
Oh,
heart goes out to everybody else who is still in that boat. So,
wow. Well, in that case, seriously, thank you so much for doing this. We do really appreciate it.
of course, I'm at my neighbor's house, so
Oh, there you
hopefully
go.
I'll.
Doing this for you. Well, again, thank you. So let's get right into it. You say you don't, if you're trying to heat up, warm up, don't go in the car, turn on the ignition and then leave the car garage down, back it out of the driveway. We've been saying these things all week. What are some symptoms for carbon monoxide poisoning that people should be aware of? Because when you're in the moment, you're just trying to stay warm. You don't necessarily know you have these symptoms, but there are some telltale signs.
There are some telltale signs of carbon monoxide poisoning, and I do want to remind everyone that they can be subtle and kind of sneaky, and so it's not always obvious. So the most common signs and symptoms that we see when patients come into the emergency department are nausea, vomiting, confusion, uh, and sometimes the severe signs would, of course, be passing out or being unconscious and unresponsive. Sometimes people get short of breath or have some chest pain. All of those can be symptoms of carbon monoxide poisoning.
You know, we warned people about this, and yet still it became a huge problem, especially in those early days when, we expected rolling blackouts, not long power outages. What do you think it is with the carbon monoxide poisoning that just kind of caught people off guard, or maybe they're just not aware of it? Is it a lack of detectors or just a lack of awareness? What do you think?
So I think a lot of those detectors depend on power. So a lot of the carbon monoxide detectors either were working only partially or they weren't working at all. And many people don't have carbon monoxide detectors. They only have smoke detectors. And it is important to know what you have hanging up in your house, especially if you're renting and you didn't hang it yourself. It's also important to check the batteries of those detectors because the power has been out. So I think what I saw a lot of patients really try to do is they tried to limit the time that they were exposed. So they would bring an unsafe heating element in, whether it was a generator that was in a garage, whether it was a car that they left in the garage, whether it was a grill that they brought into their home. And they figured if they did something for a short amount of time, it would give some heat and it wouldn't be so dangerous. And unfortunately, that is not true. Bringing a grill into your home, having a car running in a garage, a generator in a garage, those things can let off dangerous levels of carbon monoxide. And our homes are not being ventilated right now. So if your vent system and your fans are not running, it does not take very long. We're talking an hour and sometimes even less for the level of carbon monoxide to build up in homes to an unsafe level and to really poison people.
Wow, that's it. I mean, you think about for how long people were without power and how they were trying to stay warm for probably longer than that, and that's the only time it takes.
I do. My heart goes out because I know that people were really in desperate measures and they were trying to be safe, but they were trying to warm up their homes and doing things like using the stove and the oven that is gas to heat up your home. That same difference. It lets off carbon monoxide and there's no ventilation in your home right now. Even cracking a window is not the same as having vents and fans
Yeah.
running. So it has led to dangerous levels and carbon monoxide poisonings like we have never seen in Houston. We've had over 300 cases in the last couple of days,
Oh my
and
goodness.
our system has just been inundated. We're definitely calling this a public health emergency of carbon monoxide poisonings.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, Hillary Fairbrother, thank you so much, and I hope you get your power and water back soon. Thank you.